terms of sleep, things that you can improve on, things that can help you fall asleep, stay asleep, things that will help you wake up feeling better, hopefully. The first thing I want to talk about is things that I struggled with and things that I didn't know about in terms of why I wasn't sleeping well. Two things I guess I struggle with at the moment are time of eating compared to when I sleep, and relaxing into a calm state, allowing me to fall asleep. It's hard to eat and sleep early when you're doing so much in a day, but I know the optimal way to leave a gap is about 3 hours or 2 hours from your last meal or your last feed compared to when you sleep. And that is very hard for a lot of people because people like to wake up early, go to sleep early, but then they do so much in a day that they don't allow enough time to eat. I think the best way for me would be to just have one big meal, but I know it's very complicated and hard to digest that way, and it's not easy to cook and get it all prepared. But I think the best way to go about that would be to prep it all and then just eat it all in 1 or 2 meals instead of like 4 meals, or maybe have a meal early, which I'm starting to do, which is helping. Having a meal consisting of just protein in the morning, maybe a little bit of fruit, a bit of honey. But yeah, that's something that you can try to remember, and which can help you, allowing yourself not to eat too late, like snack before you sleep. You don't want to be sleeping on a bloated stomach, and that's the same for water. You don't want to be drinking water too late because it has the same effect. It'll make you get up in the evening rather than harder to fall asleep, or it might be still harder to fall asleep because you've got that bloated stomach. So if you feel like you are waking up in the night wanting to wee, something you can implement is probably not drinking 2 to 3 hours before sleeping. Or another thing that you can do is have an electrolyte tablet. If you struggle with not having enough fluid throughout the day, having a tablet early in the morning and then having the water earlier, rather than being dehydrated and wanting water later on. Obviously, if you feel like you need water desperately, then that could be a good thing that you can implement, or good thing to do. I just paused the recording because of the dog barking, so I'll get back onto it. I think I covered the that last section. I think I covered most of it on the basis of water and food, and I can talk a bit more about good ways to relax before sleep. I usually perform a NSDR practice, which is basically non-sleep deep rest, where in the practice you focus on your body parts, starting from your feet and working your way up, and just feeling into each body part and calming your breath. And basically allowing you to distract yourself onto these body parts, and I find it's a very effective practice which you can do in any time of the day. I know there's things that can help certain people, like people like to do different sorts of meditation. Just I know there's probably making your exhale longer than your inhale, which would allow you to calm down, as it will decrease your heart rate, which is probably the only thing you need to do, just decrease your heart rate by having longer exhales and inhales. Something else that another struggle that I had was, which not recently, a while back, and I used to struggle with a lot, but it was obviously artificial light. I used to video game really late, and I was confused why I wasn't sleeping well. I wasn't tired. Well, it's because my brain was just completely in like mush, and my eyes were just completely out of the loop, and obviously my sleep pattern, as well as social media. Just allow yourself to shut off a few hours before when the time in which you set yourself to sleep, which I will get onto as well. Where setting a good pattern is a brilliant idea. But yeah, artificial light is not a good way to be falling asleep on, or even waking up on. I mean, it isn't as bad as when you wake up as when you go asleep on artificial light. The light in which you should be sleeping and waking up to is sunlight, getting sufficient sunlight, and it helps you. It plays a massive role, and just adding sunlight into your routine will change the way you sleep dramatically. It's incredible just having sunlight before it goes dark, or even in the morning. But people misunderstand the point that even if it's a bit dark, you can still get sufficient sunlight. But implementing that will just it will calm you down. It will help your rhythm, circadian rhythm, and it will help your eyes relax, especially in the evening. So if you can't work out what you're struggling with, as you have tried most things, adding in a point in which you spend 10 to 15 minutes to get some sunlight, obviously not staring directly at the sun, maybe just off the sun, is a very effective thing that you can implement. So yeah, that's a few things that I struggled with, and that I have learnt about and changed over the few years. I think right now my sleep's pretty good. It's just I've got a lot going on at the moment, so it's like I'm not in that relaxed state, but it isn't like I'm awake for hours. I fall asleep pretty quick. It's just leading up to it. The same as food, but I'm trying to set a limit of when I last eat. I usually am in bed for 8, so I try to avoid eating after 5:30, and that's a good limit which I set. But it's obviously very hard if things overrun or you struggle to allocate time. What things that can have effect on your sleep are basically there's what I've talked about there about light, artificial light, waking up and falling asleep on artificial light is so negative. Waking up on your phone is probably more demoralising for the fact that it just mushes your brain and puts you into a state of just, your brain is just fried, and you don't want to be doing that. You want to be waking up happy and ready for the day, and with a nice kick of serotonin. Going back to and I'll come on to effects, but yeah, just keeping your phone away from you. I set a limit of only allowing myself to go on my phone in the morning after 10:30, which I set, but sometimes it's after 11, and it's after a lot of time you realise that you don't need to be going on your phone in the morning. People think, oh, no, I've got too much to do, I need my phone with me. You don't. Just set a detox, go on a week detox. Don't go on your phone for a week, tell people that you're doing that, leave them your number, and just go from there. I might do a video on detoxing, things that you can detox, which will help you reset your brain. So artificial light, food, liquid, that's mostly it. You get a nice dopamine hit when you wake up in the morning and you experience good sunlight. Obviously we talked about phone. I want to talk about how napping can be can disrupt your sleep. In the way that napping too late might affect your sleep, or napping for too long. People often say only napping for 15 minutes is what you should be doing, and not napping after 3 p.m, which is probably good advice. Maybe if you're extremely tired and you can't keep your eyes open, then napping after 3 o'clock at maybe like 3:30, then that's acceptable, or like 4 o'clock, only for 10 minutes, setting an alarm. But we'll get onto alarms as well. I'll talk a bit about alarms. 15-minute naps, 15-20-minute naps only. Also, just trying not to worry about sleep is very important. This can affect you massively. Like I've been saying that I've been struggling with trying to fall asleep. It's just been thoughts, and I've just been writing them down, and it's very effective. Just journaling thoughts that are just spinning around your head, negative or even positive, but just things that are out of control. Just write them down. It doesn't matter what they are, just write them down. Even if you wake up in the middle of the night with thoughts, just write them down. Get a book out or stuff like that. I know as well, I'm talking about the phone. Seeing the time, which can be obviously your phone, your watch, your phone and your watch. Seeing the time is very. It can disrupt your sleep, because you'll see that it's. You usually sleep at 9 and you see that it's 11. You'll be so annoyed and just like ugh. But you've got to understand that your sleep is your rest. It's your enjoyment. You should try and understand that sleep is an enjoyment. It's not something that you have to just do that you don't like or it's boring. Enjoy the moment. Look forward to sleep. In the day, look forward to sleep. Think to yourself, oh, I can't wait to sleep tonight. I wanna get to sleep and have a good sleep. Rest well. And let's get on to things that you can implement that are effective. This is where I wanted to talk about a sleep plan. This is something that is very important, I think, and not a lot of people do, because they fall out of this plan on certain days in which they feel like they just want to lie in, or they want to drink and go to sleep late on the weekends and stuff like that. But even doing that on the weekends, it will just disrupt your sleep. If you leave less time for sleep, then it will just disrupt you. It will just make you more just not mean you're not recovered from your work or what you're doing. Especially if you're working really hard or you're training really hard, you need the sleep. You need the good pattern to consistently do. So what I've been doing is I've been in bed for 8, and I've been trying to wake up at 6:30, and that's the pattern that I can follow for the rest of my life, that I can stick to. And that's something that you should do. You should say to yourself, okay, what is a time in which I can fall asleep and wake up that I can do for the rest of my life, and that I can try to fall back on, or not fall back on, that I can stick to. And I feel like a few people talk about it, but it's very, very, very effective in helping you sleep better and help you get into not waking up and not feeling sleepy, and it helps your brain as well, helps your REM sleep, because it can see that you're getting into a routine, and it can just get used. Your brain just needs to get used to it. Obviously, alcohol. Avoid alcohol. Maybe if you struggle, if you enjoy it, maybe like set limits. Like I think it's pretty obvious, or it's just something that isn't great. Like there isn't any benefits to it. I mean, I think it's something that people try and get enjoyment out of, and then they realise that there is no enjoyment in it, which is, I just feel like it's something that you're not supposed to do. But I mean, people can have their thoughts and their opinions on it. I mean, it's what it is, really. But yeah, dehydration, obviously, a lot of people are dehydrated, but that's that might be another video. I did a video on water, but I'll see. I might do another video on water. I might get onto. I'll talk about making sure that you're comfortable. I might put a link in. I saw there's a video, someone explaining good head position, good neck position, how many pillows and that sort of thing, and then how you can understand your sleep, see what is best for you in terms of how comfortable you like to be, how far back your neck, your head. Making sure that there's sufficient airway, so not being like this and blocking your airway. People don't realise that if you sleep like this, or making sure you're sleeping on your back, because if you sleep on your front, you're blocking, and it's not very effective. But making sure that your airway is open, maybe sleeping half on your side, but forcing yourself to sleep on your back is very important. But yeah, making sure that your neck is like that, and just that's a good position to be in, obviously lying down looks a bit weird like that, but being sleeping like in that position is very important. Something as small as that could be something that people don't realise, and that is actually what they're missing, that they're not actually comfortable, they're just trying to fall asleep. With that, obviously your mattress, whether you prefer a softer mattress or a more hard mattress, people prefer different mattresses. I mean, whatever you feel works for you is probably what you should do. I know the firmer if you wake up with back pain, then having a softer mattress, or vice versa. But yeah, making sure that you have a good quality mattress. Make sure that you have good quality pillows. That your pillows aren't just making it worse for your sleep, because they might be making it worse. You don't realise that your head is in a really uncomfortable position, and that you're quite sore when you wake up. You're not sure what that is. You misunderstand what is that is disrupting your sleep, or that is waking you up in the morning. Going on to temperature, I haven't talked about this yet, but making sure that your body is the perfect temperature. Obviously people sleep better at different temperatures, but in terms of degrees centigrade, 14 to 19 is probably the optimal temperature for you, which is I think it's 57 to 62 Fahrenheit. Might be wrong. I'm pretty sure that it is that, but I'll check about that. Minimal sounds. Make sure that you any annoying or disrupting sounds can make it harder for you to fall asleep, or if like loud sounds might wake you up in the morning, but obviously you can't really avoid like cars or things like that. I mean, but just making sure that you block out any sounds. I know there's devices in which you can get white sound machines, I think, can block some noises. I mean, I'm not too sure about it, but maybe it's something you can look into. I know I might put some things in which you can use for sleep, like effective alarms in the morning, or waking up with light, but like light from alarms. I know that on Amazon they have those sort of things, which if people can't get sunlight because of the way they are, then there's ways around it of waking up, where you can wake up with light from a source, like an alarm thing. I don't know what they're called, but they could be good. Obviously, heat and cold exposure can help your sleep more more towards heat. Maybe having a nice warm shower / warm bath just before sleep obviously will help calm you down. I don't often do them late. I mean, it might be something that I can help me sleep, having a warm shower late on, because I usually have them earlier on after I go to the gym, because it's just easier. But having a warm shower late can help make you relax, but it's very effective, I think. And then obviously waking you up in the morning, experience cold exposure, but it doesn't really benefit your sleep. I mean, if it's something you look forward to, it might wake you up better. But I doubt it is. It's not fun. It's not something that is fun. But the more you do it, I guess the funner it gets, which you'll find if you do it. Yeah. Avoiding avoiding staying in your room throughout the day can actually play a role. I stay in my room until around about 10. I film in the morning, and I don't go in it until obviously like around 7 p.m. So yeah, avoiding being in your room, because it can. I think there's people I know is something that can affect your sleep, and it's something that you should probably avoid. But I think being in your room should only be for sleep and for sex. Like, if you're working your room, like I don't think it's very productive or for sleep. So yeah, so avoiding staying in your room throughout the day. Obviously, if you can't avoid it, then it is what it is. But I think it might affect your sleep. Just that small thing, maybe. Yeah, making your room as dark as possible. I forgot to talk about this, but prior to sleeping, making sure that your room is dark as possible, so that you can fall asleep and you get a release of what is it? I wrote it down. You get a release of melatonin, which helps sleep when it's really dark. It's a state in which you feel like you should fall asleep when it's really dark, and it's something that is actually very important, which I forgot to talk about. Making sure that it's dark at night and light in the morning when you wake up, which is why I was talking about things that you could get to make it light in the morning. Which actually, it does play a role. Dark at night, light in the morning, blocking out any light at night, like little light, because it can play on your mind and annoy you. So yeah, blocking out any light so it's dark as possible in your room. One more thing I want to talk about before I talk about some effective habits or things that you can use is physical activity. Not being too active before sleep is quite important, because you don't want to be raising your heart rate. Obviously, being extremely tired through the day from training obviously helps you sleep, but not experiencing activity too late. Obviously, you probably can't help it if you have got a time in which you have to play a sport or something like that. But even if you do play late, try just to focus on your breathing and getting your heart rate down. You can probably work ways around it to help you juggle the two, sleep and late activity. It's not something that you should worry about. It's something that you should try to adapt. But yeah, let's talk about some habits or things that you can use to help your sleep. Face masks to try and get it as dark as possible, which I use. I use a sleep mask. They're very helpful. Sleeping tape. We haven't talked about breathing, but wearing sleeping tape, good healthy, good quality sleep tape, making sure that you breathe primarily with your nose when you sleep is very important. Obviously, well, not obviously. I'll just explain it. It helps you, helps your flow of air when you breathe through your nose rather than your mouth. It's not very effective using your mouth when you sleep, like a lot of things really. But yeah, using sleep tape. I did use sleep tape for about a month, but then I got into the routine of using my nose anyway, so it's something that I didn't need to do because I got into the habit of doing it anyway. So yeah, it works like that. You could do it for a month or so, and then you won't need to do it as much because your body is used to it. Obviously, waking naturally is so much more effective than waking up, forcing yourself to wake up, because you might not be as happy in the morning. Your day might not be as good, because your morning makes your day. Um, that's a loud noise. That I'm sorry about that. Alarms. I think there's ways of using alarms. I think your first alarm being peaceful and then your second alarm being more aggressive can be a good way of using alarms to your advantage, like having a nice peaceful alarm just to wake your body up, not forcing yourself to wake up, and then when your body is awake, having a more forceful thing half an hour after, something like that, could be an effective way of waking you up. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Talked about how you can work around hydration, electrolyte tablets, making sure that you are hydrated a few hours before sleep. Same as food, but yeah, that's some sleep information. I'll leave a few things in the description about a video and maybe some things that you can use, some things that you can buy. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned a lot. Hope it will make you improve your sleep. I hope you have good sleep. It's very important, especially if you train a lot. Making sure that you're fully recovered. But yeah, I hope some things like what I talked about can help. I feel like temperature is quite an important one. Making sure you're relaxed. Food as well. But yeah, hope you have a good rest of your day, whatever time it is. Peace out.